Okay, I got everything ready here. I'm mixing up the water. I got it all measured out, and I got all my beakers marked off to the proper level. And here's my Arista kit. The magnetic stirrer is stirring right now. Got it preset. This is really handy. You don't need one of these, but it'll help you mix it properly, like with not much effort, but you don't want it to go too high like that. That is way too much. This is not going to work. It's going to exhaust your chemicals very quickly. So you want to have it at a gentle agitation so that it doesn't exhaust. Because I've made some before and was doing some tests, and it seems like the more agitation and the longer you have the chemicals in there, the faster it exhausts. But keeping it exact with some syringes to double check my beakers, which are real accurate. And this kit here is over 2 years old. I'm getting ready to mix. And here's my glass beakers that I recommend. And to not have the temperature much more than 75 degrees, I'm heating up the room so that I can get ready to develop here after I'm done mixing these chemicals. And I use these little amber jars or bottles because they are much better. Like I used to use 250 milliliter bottles like this one. But here is what helps keep these chemicals alive for a very long time. So I spray after I mix and fill the bottles. I top each one off to just about the neck part of the bottle. I spin it on real quick and I squirt a little bit in each one of these. And what it does is the gas falls on top of the chemical and it creates a oxygen barrier. So now I'm getting ready to top these off to the height that they need to be. I got them marked already, so I don't have to constantly measure out these measurements here. So the water's measurement is 195.31 milliliters. And I also have the conversion for 50 milliliter bottles if I wanted to make them. But when I make these, they're going to go up to right about the neck, and that will be 62.5 milliliters, and 50 milliliters is quite a bit lower. Those bottles are perfect for dividing these 250 milliliters. So here's my measurements. They're already ready to go, and the best thing to do is get everything preset, ready to go. You don't want to mix one chemical and then measure out the other one, and the time that you take to get that one measured and poured is too wide a gap, because this will exhaust your chemicals very quick. So what I do is I get my stuff preset, everything ready to go, and I start mixing the first part A chemical into the beaker there while it's stirring in a gentle agitation. Then I get my part B and I mix it in there. And you kind of want to do it in the order that they are set, A, B, and C. And be careful, these are glass beakers, they break very easily. So the colors are going to shift to different colors right now. And after you're done pouring in part C, it's going to turn into like a dark green. But don't worry, in a few minutes it'll turn into this lovely amber, like gold looking color. And that's where you want it to be. You don't want it to get any further, because the further you wait, the more exhaustion. When it's stirring it, that causes exhaustion. So now they're topped off. I did that off camera for your convenience, so you don't have to wait and watch me do it. So I topped them all off to right about where I said, just the neck. And now I'm going to fill them up with the butane. It don't matter what kind of butane I use. This is the brand that I have right now. So I'm going to top these off. Okay, I already topped off a few, so I'm going to just top off these two in front of you so you can see. Just a little bit of gas. Quickly put your cap on there. That way you don't lose your gas. And then it'll all settle to the bottom and create a perfect oxygen barrier. And that's what makes your chemicals last longer. And I rate these bottles 1 year. They will last 1 year before they exhaust. Because I've used the 250 milliliter bottles and they've lasted 6 months before, and they were in perfect condition. Like, they didn't really shift color, because you'll tell when they start to exhaust, because the color will turn like a brown mucky looking color. And here's one that I made last October, and that's over 4 months ago, and this bottle has not been opened or used, and it's in like perfect condition. Like, it looks the same way as when it's as clear and transparent as when I first mixed it. And here's a comparison, the old over 4 months and the freshly made today. There's like no difference, and that's because of that oxygen barrier. And here's a print that I did to test the 6-month-old chemicals, and it turned out perfect. My blacks, I'm getting good D-max, good color reproduction, like accurate skin tone. Right now it's wet and it's underwater, but we'll evaluate it here when it's dry, and it's just beautiful. Like, everything looks good. Skin tones, the darks, because this was a nighttime shot, and this was actually shot with a 800 speed Kodak. That's what it was. And these are some old negatives that were 25 years old. And yeah, these girls are still as lovely as they were then, still as beautiful. Yeah, this chemical is really good stuff. It lasts longer than a lot of people say. You know, these are over 4-month-old chemicals, and I guarantee you that chemical would have lasted a year. And that's very unheard of with these chemicals. And before I get comments from people saying that you mixed up chemicals and they exhausted in 2 weeks, you know, or less, that's because you didn't do it the way I did it. You just mixed them up, lack of better words, all willy-nilly. And the best thing to do is be exact as you can. You don't have to be 100% perfect, but you got to be close. Your numbers got to be tight. You got to mix them. And the number one cause of depleting the developer, in my opinion, is actually using them. That's what depletes them faster. The agitation in the tank, and the oxygen time, and the silver, of course. But yeah, the developing is what depletes them the fastest. Also, temperature. Temperature is going to be a big factor. Like, if you're developing at 100 degrees, sure, you're going to have fast development times of 45 seconds, and that's quick and convenient and all that, but you're not going to have time for any water rinses in between each chemical. You may not even have time for a stop. A lot of people go straight to a Blix after developing, but that can cause staining, and that's not lovely to look at. You spent all that time and you don't want to have stains on your prints. So what I do is I develop at 75 degrees, just slightly above room temperature. I heat up the room a little bit, and I develop for 2 minutes and 20 seconds. And then I do a water rinse of distilled water. And then I do a stop of 1.5 minutes. And then after that, 3 rinses of tap water, 2 rinses of tap water, and then 1 rinse of distilled, and then the Blix for 1.5 minutes. And then after that, I pull the prints and I put them in the washer, like immediately. I like rinse it real quick with some tap water, and then I throw them into the film washer that you may have seen the video. It's on my YouTube channel. It's a short one, and it just shows you a simple way, and it's pretty easy, self-explanatory. You look at it, you can produce it yourself. It's very helpful having a little 4x5 film washer if you do 4x5, but it's also great for these 4x5 prints that are awesome for like photo albums. This print here is an 8x10, and I have equations to help you, make them bigger and reproduce the same thing as you did on your little small prints. So if you like this, hit that like and subscribe button, and thanks for watching.